right. Well, hey, coaches, Opt for Change. It is Dee Corchin. I am here with you. Excited to see you guys here on Monday. It is December 19th. We are heading into the last 2 weeks of the year and super excited about this call. Really want to spend some time deep diving into what would be the most productive use of your time, because we know that you are busy. You've got, distractions, a lot going on. So we're going to, and there's a lot going on in Optavia. So we're going to spend some time deciphering all of that. But before we do, as people are signing on, we're going to watch about a 2-minute, 30-second video with Steve Jobs, a little bit of inspiration. So bear with me as I get that rolling. If you need help with the volume, just turn it up on your end, or if you can't see it, somebody pop off mute and let me know, but we should be fine.
I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I'd let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did.
We are going to make it or break it based on whether we can provide products to higher education and services and relationships to higher education that no one else provides. And I think we ought to spend 100% of our time thinking about that. And if we can't do that, then we ought to go broke.
And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. So keep looking, don't settle.
All right. Well, very, very good. Has anyone been feeling like maybe they're struggling a little bit? We're not really fired from our coaching position, but maybe it is we're struggling a little bit. And I think that's just such a good reminder. He is such an inspiration about really falling in love and falling in love with what we're doing. And the one thing I know, you guys, and I know a lot of you guys signed on as that was on. So welcome to the call tonight. We're talking about the last 2 weeks of the year. And the one thing I've been coaching for 11 years. So this is probably my 11th December that I've coached. And I will tell you that it is a very and this week, honestly, will be one of the quietest weeks you probably have in terms of what's happening out there. But it is really one of the most critical weeks for us to be active, as well as next week. We're like heading into the Super Bowl season. And it can be tricky because we have been a little bit slower. So if your business has been a little slower, that's very, very normal. We all are kind of feeling that. but it can kind of get to us, get in our head a little bit. And then when it's slower, we can actually start to slow down. And it's actually the exact opposite that we need to be doing right now. Not that we want you to spin out and put the pedal to the metal, but consistency and being very strategic in what you're doing is going to be the most important thing, because the holidays are important. And happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that. Christmas is around the corner. But there is a way that we can do both. Be where your feet are planted, enjoy it off, turn the noise down, but know what you're doing is going to help you move forward. So just know that people are watching right now. People are making decisions about what they're going to do in the new year. That's your current clients, that's your inactive clients, and that is all your candidates and the people that have been watching you. So a couple of things we're going to kind of bounce around tonight, but a couple of things just to make sure you're aware of is, the first is, did you guys see that we are doing a $75 drawing for anybody who orders in December before December 24th? Did you guys see that? All right. If not, there's information in Coaches Up for Change, and I can give you a brief overview. But basically what we're doing is to look to help you out and also help Optavia out. The end of the month, for whatever reason, is always, I think it's because just the way we kind of tend to turn it up at the end of the month. The end of the month can be where a lot of your pending premieres are sitting, and they're waiting, and you're kind of watching, wondering if they're going to go through or not, etc. So we're offering this incentive to help people go ahead and get that order. And there has been a huge response to this. It's amazing what a $75 Amazon card will do. It also inspires people, if they're going to reactivate, to go ahead and get started. But it really helps out Optavia, because there is so much volume at the end of the month that those orders are slow. And actually the slowest orders are the orders that go out, that come in on the 1st or the 2nd, are the slowest to go out. So the more that we can do to be working consistently and getting our orders in the earlier in the month, and that includes your own personal order, that just helps your coach and it helps Optavia. So hopefully that makes sense. You may see us doing more of that as we're trying to shift everything gradually to earlier in the month. It's just a win-win for everyone. The other thing I'm going to really encourage you to do this week, it may be hard to catch your clients by phone. Quite honestly, I decided, if you've been using TextWiz, I just ditched it. Today, I just texted each one of my clients by first name. Hey, I would really love to talk to you this week. Is there some way we could connect? And I got response after response after response. And I gave them like 3 times that we could talk this week. So reach directly. But if you can't reach them, do a voice text, do a video message, something that we want to remind them that you're here to support them, even if their journey isn't perfect. And the other thing is that this is such a key time. We should talk about it all the time, but such a key time to ask and talk about referrals. So if Corey, I see you there. Corey and I talked yesterday, and she was telling me that actually she's finding that most of her new clients are coming through referrals versus social media. So I thought she's doing something that maybe some of us aren't. So Corey, you want to pop on for a few minutes?
Hi. Yeah, so I had to really kind of think about, what am I doing that is, I don't know, going on that's making this stronger for me with these referrals. And I think I'm doing the same thing as far as, I've told them I will give them wellness credits. We talk about coaching, and if they are not wanting to coach yet, partner with me with that, then they could refer. I've sent an email before that kind of just talks about referrals, but I think that the biggest thing for me is the connection. I really reach out to as many as possible every week. And so I think that I'm trying to find what I have in common with them and connect with them and just have that support. And I think that when they're having progress, then they're kind of crediting that to me. And when people are talking to them, they're saying, no, you can't go to the site. You need to talk to my coach. And so when they're calling me, they're saying, no, this person told me that you're the person to talk to and whatever. So I think that, kind of right now with this time when everybody really needs to have that support and connection, that we just need to make sure that we're going past that first week and really celebrating them and doing the celebration calls and making sure that we're just kind of celebrating them all along the way and finding whatever it is that you can, find that you connect to that person for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, do you offer any kind of wellness credits? Do you tell them in advance that you give a referral credit to them?
I do. So I always tell them that they'll get the $25 wellness credits. Sometimes I might up that if it's a couple or whatever, but I'll do that. And that's been good for me. And I've said that I would give them wellness credits if they post a picture and on their page. I've really only had one person actually do that. But other than that, I think it's just really trying to stay connected to them each week. I actually find that when I try to send them like the Calendly link each week, it wasn't working and I was getting barely anybody signing up. So I just started reaching out to them individually and saying, let's find one time. And then once we had that time, I said, okay, I'm just going to make this our weekly time. And so it's automatic, our weekly time. And so they might send me a message and go, hey, this time doesn't work for me this week, but I can do this time. And so I generally talk to almost all my clients each week. So I think that makes a huge difference, because over the summer, I wasn't talking to them a lot. They weren't signing up and it wasn't working out. And once school started, I just kind of got back on a really consistent schedule.
I think that's so key. So, if you noticed in the Steve Jobs video, he said when he was coming back, he said, what we have to do is provide service and relationships better than anyone else. And I'm with you. I kind of found that the Calendly link, TextWiz, asking them to sign up just really wasn't working for me. So that just might be something to revisit, pay attention to, and maybe, change it around, come up with a schedule. Again, you still get to control your schedule. You get to decide, but it's that kind of personal touch. And then again, Corey, even though people didn't necessarily take you up on your offer to put their picture out there, you're talking about the importance of sharing the journey, et cetera. So they're hearing it in a couple of different ways. So that is just really huge, you guys, because a referral-based business is a beautiful business to have. And I really don't want you to be afraid to ask for referrals, et cetera, because what you're doing is you're asking somebody just simply to share what's working for them and to pay it forward. So, all right, we're going to move on because we got lots of different things. Thank you so much, Corey. There are next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're called New Year, New You webinars. They are 30-minute webinars. I'm going to include all the links. When I post this replay, I'm going to have a link for everything we talk about. But this New Year, New You, we're going to talk about how to set goals for the new year, how to avoid common pitfalls, do a high-level program overview, have client stories, and a very light touch on coaching. There are incredible people leading these calls, and I put something in Coaches Opt for Change, and we'll have a post you can post for each one of these. But the first one is Dr. Michael Smith. He was the medical director for WebMD. He became a client and then a coach, and he really didn't have weight loss, but what he needed help with an autoimmune disease and inflammation, and helping him that way. So he's leading that call for us. So we're going to have a very credible person. The other is Dani Alvarenga. She is a nurse, has been coaching for about 12 years. So very highly credible people. So my advice around these, you guys, you can absolutely post it out there, but that is just a blanket spit, like to see if anybody jumps at it. What I really encourage you to do is to identify how many people do I want on these calls? Who do I want on these calls? Start making a list and do those personal invites out to people with follow-ups. Those are the things old school methods, that personal touch, that relationship. I would really love, you've asked me about the program or you've been struggling on the program, would love for you to be a part of this. 3 different times those are available, like 1 o'clock on one day, 4 o'clock another day, and I think 8 or 9 o'clock the next day. So can meet every time frame. All right. There are also some other tools that we can be using, and social media is a great thing to be out there and doing. So there was a great training this past Saturday. I saw Connie on it. I think a few of you others were on. And Connie, wearing her very festive Mary sweater, is going to come on and give us a few highlights and ways to be strategic with our social media presence.
Yeah, thanks, Dee. It was kind of like drinking from a fire hose the other day. And so trying to get this down to the basics and the things that really can, where if you're feeling stuck during this season, it kind of gave me goosebumps with Steve Jobs, that be more focused on not where you've been, but where you're going. And what they gave us was the whys. We want to do social media a little differently during this season, and then the hows to go about doing it. And you may want to write these top 5 things down on a Post-it note so that you can keep it in front of you every time you do a post, that you can ask yourself, am I doing one of these 5 things? And the first reason that why we want to do it differently is to share and consume holiday experiences. People want to see what you are doing for the holidays. And you also want to show them what you're doing, and then to see what they're doing as well. And we want to inspire, share inspiration, do 3 posts a day, 1 personal, 1 before and after, and then either 1 inspiration or motivation or health tip. And the thing is that they are looking for a solution right now. We have a very hurting world, and people are looking for a solution. And a majority of them, most, I would say, one of their first New Year's resolutions is about losing weight. And we have the solution for that problem, and for like their finances, their mind, their body, and their finances. We have those solutions. And our time is now, where Dr. A has told us we are set and we are poised and we are ready. And the other thing that this is going to do is that we want to learn from their community, what's on their pages, be a part, go to their page, see where they are, because we can plant seeds. We can give their health tips that we can share about, even a deal that you have found when you were out running around and doing your holiday shopping last minute, how you wrap a package really cool, or that kind of thing, that then might attract them to be a part of our community. So every time you're going to do a post, ask yourself, am I doing one of those 5 things? And then you move from the why into the how, these tools that we use on your personal page. And the personal page is the one that's got your name on it. And if you aren't public, it is time to ask one of your mentors to be sure that you are public, that you're sharing with the entire public rather than just with a few friends. And so you want to get that checked for sure. And you want to share 3 times a day on your personal page, your get-togethers with your family, as you're decorating, as you're doing time-honored traditions, if you're going on a ski trip, if you went and dropped some things off at a women's shelter as a part of your charitable contributions, because we aren't selling weight loss. We aren't offering them a diet. We want to offer them an opportunity to step into our world, into our community, where they can have the opportunity themselves to live and to learn to live their best life. And when they see you sharing your life and what you're doing with your health, they want that too. And the thing about this too is they are going to love the way it makes them feel. That's the most important thing. So when you're sharing your befores and afters, this is the second thing that you're going to do, something personal about yourself, and then the before and afters. And if you have not shared your before and after in a really long time, it is time to strut your stuff. Wear your Merry Everything picture, your sweater, and get out there and post it. Even if you have had a backslide, stop that negative chatter in your mind and get out there and invite them to step alongside you on this journey. Take yourself off the perfection pedestal, and so that you can be more relatable. And so it's time to start and put that out there now. And be an inspiration, some inspirational post. Do some about yourself, do some about, people have had a small weight loss, do couples, do families, do friends, do occupations, different age groups, things that everyone can relate to. And if you are new and you don't have those, get some of those from the leaders on our team. Make them clear, make the photos, the side by side, clear and crisp. And be sure, most importantly, use the disclaimer. It doesn't have to shout it out there, the Optavia disclaimer, but it needs to be legible and noticeable. And the other thing that we want to be sure and share on our page is tips and value. And we have this thing called the Life Book and the Habits of Health. And if you haven't opened it lately, you can open it every single day and pick something out that will offer them the value and offer them a tip that will help them step through the struggles, that they'll be able to say, oh my gosh, she's got the solution when they're ready. They may not be ready today, but they're going to be ready soon. And we're not talking about just the season of Christmas, because this season goes on until probably the end of February, March, April, May. It just keeps going. We are planting seeds right now. And if you're planning on doing a Facebook Live, now would be a great time to do it. Keep it really, really short, 45 seconds to 1 minute, because people are scrolling 20 to 30,000 times a day. They're not taking time to sit there and listen to a 3-minute story or a 3-minute post on a live. And so do it really short and do your little tip that way. And, and share a motivational quote, something that's really important to you, so that they will get your heart when they hear the similarities of what you're sharing on your page. And what we really want to drive home tonight is that now is the time to brand yourself as someone who can solve their problem. Do at least one personal post a day, 2 hours apart, along with those other types of posts that I've shared with you. And then you want to do, because, get out of your head that this is about a diet. That's not what we're asking them to join us on. We're asking them to join us in our community. And y'all know we got the best one out there. So that's what we want to be offering them right now. And so the page is like the front of your house. And when you get to your story, it's like inviting them to come in and sit down at your kitchen table, where you want them to be a little bit more personal. Share things about yourself, 1 to 2 pictures, do a transformational story, but do one, I didn't do this before. I saw this on Saturday. I used to put mine all up in the morning and do another 6 the next morning, but they said to do 1 or 2 in an hour, and then do in a couple of hours, do something else, and make it a variety, just like what I've talked about. Something personal, something about yourself during the day, something motivational, something inspirational, maybe another transformational story, another activity. This is the best place where they're going to see you being in your life, and they're going to say, yes, I want to do what they can do too. And as far as the polls go, if you're going to offer them something in a poll, you can go like the recipe book that we just got, like, don't these look yummy? You can put yes from the poll, but also give them a choice to say no, thank you, because even no, thank you is kind of like a yet. It's still interaction, because that's what we're driving for. And so the big thing on all of this, and the biggest part of it, is when the people begin to interact on your page, we want to interact back with them. Do not scroll through your phone. We want to use our structural attention, use our time blocking, and go back in. We want to set our phones aside and be really intentional about this, because we want to have time with our families. So we want to go back 2 or 3 times a day, 15 to 20 minutes at the most, to like and comment, send the message, touch bases on your story. Start with your personal post, comment 2 or 3 times a day, go in, do your likes and your loves. And what you want to do is you want to click it, and then you'll say something to them like, oh my gosh, look, Susie's killing her transformational story. Look, can't you wait to see what's going to happen with her next? And isn't it great when you have a coaching community that helps you reach your goals? And then See, what that does is it paints a bigger picture of what we have in our community besides just the weight loss. And so we want to do that 2 or 3 times a day and leave it, and then go back a couple hours later and touch it again, because every time you touch it, it boosts it all the way back up. And so there's really no rush, to have to go through all of them and just say thank you. We actually want to comment. And if you see something that's in there that you've not seen this person before on your page, or even on, when you get to the story, you may want to then go over and check out their page, see what they're doing, see if it's someone that you may want to add to your hot list. And if it is, then you want to go over and start them in Messenger and comment to them and say, oh my gosh, she's doing so great. And then you saw on their page, like, I see where you've gone skiing with your grandkids. Where did you go? And you always want to end with a question so that they'll interact back with you. But don't be discouraged. Like Dee said, if it's crickets during this season, that's okay, because people are scrolling a whole lot and not doing a whole lot of interaction. So that's what's even more important for us to be intentional rather than crickets right now too, because we've got this big opportunity. And then you go on and you can ask them, I would love it, what I do as a health coach, and I'd be honored to either coach anyone in your world that might benefit from having health this season. And do you know anyone that we might and can inspire together? And then if they comment, be bold. This is the place to be bold and really courageous, and ask them to engage in a call. And so, if it's a motivational post or a recipe, you can do the same kind of thing. What they did say, though, is that since we've got this great thing called the recipe book, and all the drinks and things like that, is don't go spamming everybody and putting out your recipe book to everybody. If you can go through your stories and people have liked it, replied and said, yes, they would like it, you can go over and do that and send it to them. But don't just go and send it to everybody that liked your story. You can start a conversation and ask them if they would like to connect and do the same kind of thing. And so you want to you want to comment, you want to be really intentional about what they're doing. You want to check them out and add them to your hot list. And then they left us with this challenge. And if you go to Trilogy Quest and you do Power Hour, you're very familiar with their A to Z and how you go through your phone. And just like what Dee was saying, we want to start wishing everybody a happy holiday. And if you don't know what they celebrate, it's easier just to wish them happy holidays. And we want to have a heavy, heavy focus on those top 5 things, with keeping it personal. And so wish out to people. Remember that we're heading into this, and see, that they are viewing you. Stay away from scrolling. That's their job, not ours. And please don't copy and paste the same message to everyone, because it'll get you and land you in Facebook jail. And so you can, the bonus is right now is building relationships first. And like in the Field of Dreams, if you build it and you plant it, they will come, and they will trust you. And when they are ready, they are going to come to you. So be massively consistent, be bold, set your personal time and make it important, and fit this in the gaps. And the more you interact, the more action that you're going to see in January.
Yeah, that was so good. Thank you, Connie. And I think I saw Frank pop in there. He said, marry the process, divorce the results. And you might feel like, holy smokes, I am doing all this, like Connie said, and I'm not really getting much interaction or much whatever. That can make us want to slow down, but it's actually when you want to stay out there and be consistency. It's like you're training for the race, right? So you don't necessarily see the results right away. But I have an image. I don't know if you've seen it. It's very slick. Let me see if I can find it. That, oops. Yeah, never mind. I think just click on it. Beth clicked the link to the Hanukkah and Christmas guide. It's beautiful. I mean, such a great tool to send to your clients and to ask people if they want it. So a couple of other things that we're going to do. We've got some beautiful images for this, as well as we really debated whether or not to have another challenge for the first of the year. We felt like, gosh, people are kind of worn down. Do we want to do a challenge? So what we are doing is our Get Back to Me in 2023, but this is an experience. It is different. So listen up while Meg Johnson comes on to give us an overview and how we can encourage people to join us on this and how we're going to work it differently.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dee. I heard another coach say that they are over the challenge. They feel just kind of challenged out. And I think for so many of us, it's easy for us to feel fatigued, right? In this season, I heard somebody talk about, hey, you want to know why you're so tired? It's because you started 2022 and you didn't have a full tank of gas. And so, the way I'm looking at this 4-week experience, it's not a challenge, but it is a chance. It's a chance for somebody to reconnect with their coach. It's a chance for somebody to reset, to rejuvenate. And what do we always hear from our clients, right? When they are struggling and then they get back on plan, they're like, wow, it feels so good to be in control, and they feel like themselves again. So I would just challenge you, if you are stuck with that challenge mentality, to think of it instead of a challenge, think of it as a chance. You are giving somebody a chance to claim their health and to claim their life back. And we know what it's like to fall asleep at night, just feeling so stuck. So this is going to be a 28-day experience. So a 4-week experience. And the goal here is for us to find wins for our clients, wins for ourselves as coaches. And what do we know? We know a win begets a win, right? A rising tide brings all the ships back into the harbor. So if we win with our water, we're going to start winning with our fuelings and win in lots of areas in our life. So would just really encourage you to give everybody, a chance to start over, a chance to start, a chance to have a different outcome. Because I know if Dee wouldn't have given me a second chance or a third chance or a 17th chance, there's no chance I would be where I am today. So I think it's going to be really special, and I'm excited about it. Thanks, Dee.
Meg, did you want to talk for a second about the season of Yes? Because I know you've been balancing a lot with the kids and some exciting family additions. So you want to just talk about how we navigate all this, because you've been through a few Christmas seasons as well.
Yes, I definitely have. And I love what Connie said about you fit this into the gaps. So this is a season of yes and, right? Like I just had a really fun family bingo night tonight, and I'm on team time, right? So we're getting off our perfection pedestal, like Connie said, right? I didn't do it perfectly. I didn't show up on time like I wanted to, but it's a yes and I'm still here. So figure out what your yes and can be. We just got a puppy. So it's a yes and for me. Got a puppy, and I still got to support my clients, and I'm getting to connect with them on their puppies in a way I've never been able to before, which is fun. So it's just every opportunity for the holidays or for family time, I would encourage you to look at it as a yes and. Okay, how can I make this work? And also find people to talk about this incredible opportunity with, or change somebody's life. So this is like our Super Bowl, right? So such a fun and exciting time to spend time with our family and change people's lives.
I love that. Love the and piece of it. And this 4-week experience, guys, what you're going to do is help your clients to find their win. Like, what would they like to have happen at the end of the 28 days? How do they want to feel? What would be important to them? We are not going to give out reading guides. We are not going to be doing a theme every week. All the posts are going to be positive. They're going to be uplifting. They're going to be providing encouragement, because what we want to do is help people come through this, including ourselves. I mean, could you use a few wins? That's what our synergy team is working on, that we need some wins, right? We need to, and so nobody needs a list of things to do and then feel like they can't do them and then bail. right? So, so we're trying to make this super, super simple. And as we're looking ahead into January, I just want to give you a heads up about two things coming up in January. I am bringing back Susan Brown for our team. I think this will be the 4th year we've had her. This is going to be an optional workshop if you want to do it. But Susan is a life coach, also an Enneagram specialist, and she does something called the Word of the Year workshop. It's a way that you can work on your intentions for 2023, what you want to gain, what you want to grow into, and also maybe what you want to get rid of. And it's just a great process she walks us through. So that's going to be an optional workshop. It's $35 for her time per person. And you can sign up for that, register. And that is on Thursday, January 5th. And then mark your calendar, January 14th. Dr. Anderson's going to be available for us and for your clients, your candidates, to really be talking for free to them for about 2 hours on what's possible and how what we offer is so different. And then they'll be training by rank in the afternoon. Encourage you to go ahead and block your time for that. And then that is going to set us up for an 8-week boot camp that is going to take place starting in January to help you grow. And I love this boot camp because it's going to be broken down by where you are in the business. So be planning for that. That will most likely be Saturday mornings, that boot camp. So I'm going to let you guys go. We've got lots happening. Was this helpful? Put like a 10 in the comments. If, you know, we have 55 of us that came on this call tonight. If this was helpful to you to stay energized and stay focused, we will gather again on the 26th and on January 2nd. We want to be here, be available to keep this momentum going. So like Meg said, do your best to be here, even if, you know, you're wearing your PJs or whatever it might be, all are welcome. So thank you to Corey for sharing about referrals. Thank you to Connie for sharing about social media tips, for all of you guys that commented and provided valuable info, and to Meg for the Back to Me in 23. So love you guys. Happy holidays. You guys are so special, and really, really show your commitment by being here during this busy season with a desire to help more. So we'll see you next week. And Synergy team, we are going to meet over in my Zoom room right now. See you guys later.